better watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me, and he gets caught real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored. Lots of blood and gold, always wanting more, freedom from the source. They don't really listen until they feel it worth their blood in. If you start shit, you be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped, you be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it.
What up, what up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Voice of Reason. And we have another amazing show lined up for you. I know I say that all the time. But I mean it right. I mean it every single time. And with the amount of news that we've been getting dumped into our faces lately, it's hard to. We're trying to sift through all the ones that we feel are the
being
most
dumped
important.
On, constantly shat upon by everything.
And the amount of stupidity that we're having to deal with. We'll get into some of this, like what they want to do with Greenland. Honestly, I wish I was making this up. But yeah, so we're going to talk about Nazis. Again, this time, though, we see a story of the people fighting back against Nazis.
And that's important. We got to start showing people not standing up for this crap.
Right. They thought they could go to a predominantly black neighborhood in Cincinnati and throw up their white power signs and flags and all that stuff, and that nothing was going to happen. Well, the people of the community showed them differently. So we're also going to talk about Trump creating an anti-Christian task force with televangelist Paula White in charge, who is a nutter.
Oh man,
she's bonkers, bro. Like, this is one of these true believers. I think
we're talking textbook goofy televangelist prayer number on the bottom of the screen,
right? And she speaks in tongues, too, which is just fantastic. Which
fun.
I like to point out that, like, speaking in tongues in the Bible meant that, like, people spoke a language that everybody could understand. It didn't mean you just speak gibberish.
Wait, are you saying an ancient document was misinterpreted? No.
Slightly.
All right, that's another show.
Okay, now we do want to talk about, just because the whole thing with the kid that worked for Elon Musk promoting eugenics, we feel like it's important to go over what exactly is eugenics, because
it was just glossed over. Everyone, especially JD Vance, said, we don't want to ruin a kid's life because of some little thing he said on social media, right? We don't want to ruin young white boys' lives. Why would we want to do that?
God forbid. So we want to point out what eugenics is, and I have a video clip that I could prove that Donald Trump believes in eugenics. He explains it in the dumbest possible way, but it's exactly what he's talking about. They're talking about like breeding a superior human being, whatever.
Oh yeah,
Mike has a lot of information on it, and then we're also going to talk about the fact that Canada is actually preparing for war, not a trade war, actual war with the United States. And I'm not kidding. We found some videos on social media. A lot of the stuff from outside is being censored, but thank goodness some of this stuff is still leaking through. But the ultimate thing is Donald Trump wants Canada's natural resources because, well, the whole world has shut us off because he's pissed everybody off in 3 weeks, which is quite the accomplishment, I think. But don't worry, guys. He did do something recently to help American citizens. And let me go over what it is real quick. First, he signed an executive order ending the forced use of paper straws. So, hallelujah. Thank God for that. And then right after he left the Super Bowl, he decided that he's going to ban pennies, or we're not going to make pennies anymore.
All right, that's funny. I have a reason that it's funny, but I think our guest today had a better reason.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that.
Yep. Before we get into all the topics, though, we do want to bring in our guest. This is somebody I also met on TikTok. I love his content, and like I said, I just watched a video of him squatting 500 pounds, so I'm actually glad he's on our side.
Wait, but I thought the left was all weenie babies.
Oh man!
Welcome to the show, Tom.
Yeah, I thought the left was weenie babies.
Oh man,
girly men.
My back hurts just looking at that video, man.
I gotta know, do you sun your testicles?
Say what?
Do you stun your testicles like Joe Rogan and like
that's
what he does?
Red light therapy on their nuts.
Nah, I don't do all that.
Look that up.
All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself, man, because I only know you from TikTok. And if anybody wants to follow you on TikTok, I do have your link in the description.
Yeah, I got the YouTube, like Facebook, all that shit. But so long story short, I started and I'm gonna be real with you. I voted for Trump in 2016, and I realized I made a mistake as a veteran, as someone who lived in a town that was, flooded with, the cult, and my family is, very deep into this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
so I had Jolly, Jolly.
Yep.
He had that same, he had to deconstruct himself. Not saying that I was, full on, on that side, but you get caught, around this your whole life, and you don't know that you're, might be throwing a dog whistle out there here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
Are you talking about Jolly Good Ginger?
Yeah.
Oh, you know him? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know him personally yet.
Oh,
but
okay, but yeah,
it's just the fact that everybody, listen, it's okay to make a mistake, as long as you learn from it and you drive on.
Thank you.
And the thing is, most people don't want to take accountability for themselves. And the big thing about fighting white supremacy is being accountable for yourself.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
that is huge, calling yourself out.
Yeah, and I don't mind. Listen, I get called out daily, bro. I do, love and respect my fiance for that, because she betters me every day when it comes to this stuff, because I have to be on point 24/7 if I'm going to be really in this fight.
Yep.
I became a sharp, which is a skinhead against racial prejudice, during this,
I've heard of that,
battling this head on, because I grew up in the punk and hardcore scene. So, part of that subculture, we don't accept white supremacists in our spaces. So in that, I joined the military, got out, and I saw there was a problem. And I was like, well, the Democrats are the triple K. How you hear this stupid shit and you're like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, Democrats are racist.
Projection from day one.
And then come to find out,
No.
Yeah. So,
Democrats can be racist, but
but what I'm saying is, I had these stupid ideas in my head that were wrong.
They were put there, right? In general, you're a perfect example of someone who's coming to terms with circumstance.
Yeah, so I got jumped by a bunch of boneheads out in the woods, and I was going out to see one of my friends, to let them know the good news and stuff, and I had to do some things I didn't want to do.
Yeah,
and that kind of woke me up to what was going on, and I had run-ins with white supremacists at the gym. So that's where that's where I started to think, hey, maybe I should be, doing my activism at the gym, not only, on the street.
See, that's a great idea. Show people that just because you're in the gym doesn't mean you're a racist, tough guy asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm breaking that toxic masculinity by using, masculinity in a way as it's positive.
I like that.
I think it's also that the right has this just misconception of what Democrat men are. They just
men in general. They're warped
they don't even know what men are
overbearing misogyny. That's not masculinity.
No.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all have to learn how to break from the patriarchy anyway.
Absolutely.
And we're all men that come from America deal with. If you're white, you are inherently racist, or you are, just being a man, you are inherently, you have toxic masculinity, because that's what you're taught in the society.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
But
recognizing that, understanding that that's okay. In a way, I don't want to use the V word, because that is meant for people who have had very bad trauma. Victim. But my point is, we are subject to a society that is ingraining in us these horrible beliefs that distort everyone's lives. and it's unfair.
We have contributors on the show that grew up in extremely like Christian nationalist, religious, super religious.
Yeah, I mean, my family's not that far gone,
but everyone's got different, forms of where they came from.
But listen, I'm gonna sound like a superhero or something, but like I've actually I fought all the the dudes in my town that are like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's not even an exaggeration. Like like I do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have problems because that's just who I am. But like, but that's what got me to the point where like, hey, like, I'm gonna be raising a little girl that is, multiracial. You get what I'm saying? So like, I was like, nah, this ain't happening.
You.
Like you're not gonna punk my daughter. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
so like, I dismantled my whole town by myself. I got to. I mean, like, listen, and I'm not saying like the way I did it was the right way, 100%. I did have to, learn better ways of doing things, but because I had that toxic masculinity,
that was the only way to do it.
It wasn't 100% right, but I wasn't 100% wrong. Okay. It did what it needed to do, and it made them say, "Hey, we don't, maybe we should take the Confederate flag off our truck because we don't want we don't want that hand, bro." You know what I'm saying? Like it was, we had, like they put out signs, out in front where I used to protest every day that said "No hate in Ocean County" because of what I did. Like my town was on the news 2 times in a 6-month period.
Oh wow!
Like they're it's getting like they're getting bad attention because I'm forcing that to their face. Standing in front of Ku Klux members' houses, like bro, saying "fuck the KKK." You know what I mean? Like
good,
like literally, like doing things that people would be like, "Yo, are you okay?" And I'm gonna be like, "No, I'm not. I just don't care."
That's how I get. But that's part of being an anti-racist. We talk about being an anti-racist all the time.
And
we have some pictures of some racists from recently.
We do. Oh, you're actually going to be. If I'm not mistaken, you're going to be at the protest too, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Allegedly.
Well, here's a little bit of a
confirm or deny.
Here's a little bit of a protest that we had in, what was this, Ohio, this past week?
Cincinnati. Yeah. These guys rolled out.
Wait, who's that guy in there? Is that the head of the Doge department?
It's not great.
Oh, right. Weird. That's weird. Anyway, but guess who's got the bigger protest in Texas? In Texas, of all places.
Right.
Yeah, man.
A bridge full of, I don't know, multicultural, multifaceted human beings that want to be represented fairly.
Yeah. And now, if you want to see a protest,
now, liberals, you see this, right?
Right.
Why are all you guys talking all this good stuff on the internet?
Get out there.
And then you got people that, that shouldn't be doing this stuff because they are marginalized and they are, like you have to stop talking about it and be about it. I'm not saying you have to go out and do something stupid. Right. What I'm saying is like, start organizing. It doesn't take much. Go stand outside with a flag.
I think we're very used to going to the internet nowadays and rallying there that people forgot the power of seeing huge groups of human beings standing next to each other, like the visibility of seeing people from different ethnicities and backgrounds, literally embracing each other and standing for something.
And I'm not saying to be a savior. Sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying to be a savior. No. But what I'm saying is that, the 92% did what the 92% did, and they shouldn't have to do anything more. They told you what needed to happen. Y'all, not saying y'all, but like people didn't listen.
Right.
And now we're gonna have to deal with consequences because people didn't practice their privilege.
Of course.
All right. So just to promote it real quick before we get into our topics, Mike and I again, and thank you again so much to your donations. I ordered so much stuff today, just for this protest and for like microphones and backpacks, and we got custom sweatshirts coming just for the protest, which will be February 23rd from noon to 4 p.m. So Mike and I will be there. And we have everything planned out. We're going to do street interviews. I'm going to have a body harness on so I can just mount the camera and walk around and stuff like that.
He'll be the weird one with the body harness.
Yeah, I'll be that guy. But we want to make a big event out of it. So we're gonna, if you can't,
we want people to see that people are going to the freaking streets. Right. we gotta do
if you can't go to a protest in your area, or if there's nothing in your area, or if the fear is part of why you're not getting out in the streets, watch what we're gonna do. Okay, watch the protest. We're gonna live stream the whole thing. So please be there. If you do want to donate, again, I do have the GoFundMe link and all that stuff in the description of the video. Obviously, you don't have to. What we only ask you to do, if you could, is just hit the subscribe button, share this video with your friends, show them that there are people out there that are fighting back. Like, we're ready to take the streets. We're ready to be boots on the ground on the front line of this. We're not going to sit back and let everybody just get away with this. It's not happening.
The problem is also is that, like, you might be scared now, but wait until it gets to the point where they're knocking on your door.
Like, a perfect example is, and I know it's a recurring theme on the show, but it's a very close personal issue of mine. But what they're doing to trans people is the test for how far they can stretch the law, as long as there are laws, before they can take it to now LGBTQ and certain other groups of people, and they step it up and up and up.
My kids are Mexican, okay? My kids are Mexican. I dare you to fucking try and come from my kids. I mean, but they're I guess you would call them, I guess they say white passing. So they look more white than they do Mexican. But still, this shit freaks me out. And plus, with everything happening with, like, the Department of Education, because my daughter is the same.
Wait, what Department of Education? We don't have one.
Well, yeah.
I know. I'm just being,
you know what I mean? Well, we used to have a Department of Education. But what they want to do, and they are doing the Nazi Hitler playbook and how they treat disabled people. Like, quick story, my grandmother, my mom was born in Nazi Germany in 1943 in occupied Poland at the time. She was adopted by a German woman, nurse, who couldn't have kids of her own because she was sterilized because she was disabled.
Fucking. Think about that. That's so despicable.
Generational trauma coming back tenfold.
That's a great thing. See, now white people, and let's just say non-black people, are starting to see what it's going to be like to experience generational trauma. What long-lasting effects your decisions that you make, that we all make every day, but especially when we vote, that will affect us for the rest of our lives and into the next generations. And the damage being done now is going to be that type of generational trauma.
But you gotta think, like, people, grandparents are reliving, what was going on in the civil rights era.
Oh my God!
10 times fold. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I told my mom, like, I
didn't even think of that.
I told my mom, I can't believe we live in a world where you're born in Nazi Germany and then could potentially die in Nazi America.
Yeah, well,
we got World War II veterans that are still living today watching this shit.
They're like, what the hell did I lose all my friends for?
Yeah, it's
craziness,
a shame.
Man.
That's what happens when you don't educate your public.
All right, what's next?
Let's get into the Nazis. Actual Nazis. They decided to go to a neighborhood. They
wear protection, y'all.
Yeah.
They went with a police escort.
Of course.
They were armed. They were armed with AR-15s. Okay, these people went with Nazi flags.
I don't see pride parades with police escorts.
Right, and they went and posted up on this bridge. And I want to show you two different perspectives, because a group of men, white men with weapons, got chased out of town by maybe 30 black people that had nothing on them but cameras and you know what I mean?
And their fucking humanity and pride.
Right. So I'm going to show you the perspective of how confident these white assholes were while the cops were protecting them, and then I'll show you a different perspective. That's
when they nope out of there.
Right, when they break through the line of the cops and they just start hauling ass. It's great, but yeah, I love watching these people get run out of town. Here we go.
Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Where's my camera? Where's my camera? Go down a little more. Give us distance.
Just watch how confident they are right now.
Oh, a nice little proud white power Nazi salute right there.
AR-15s, bro. Come on.
Man, I thought...
All right. And And now, as soon as the community,
dude, you should have put the Benny Hill music on there.
I know, but I wanted to because I fast forwarded this, but
oh my god.
But look, they just get in the U-Haul and haul ass. But the funny part is they found out where they were parked, like their actual cars, and they flattened their tires, all kinds of stuff. Like they were like, this is not happening. And I love watching people fight back. But all right, so let me play the other perspective. And this is from the community reacting to what they were seeing. And yeah, they burned their flags. They took their flags from them. Armed men took their flags from them, threw them on the ground, burned them.
Yeah, because every one of those armed racist pricks wouldn't spend 1 minute in prison.
Like bitches,
so they're not shooting
like
nobody.
Immediately, I'm sorry, I have to say, but they just ran immediately when they saw anybody come at them. It was crazy. You just watch this.
Not just.
Sorry, Mike.
What's up?
You can't do that. No. Yeah. Ain't nobody scared of you, motherfucker.
It's not worth it. It's not.
Yeah, burn that bitch up.
Burn that bitch up, man.
Burn
Let
that
that bitch
up.
burn. Let that bitch burn.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about?
I'm out.
Still nigga ISIS off 15 shit. Perfect, man.
Get them boys the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck y'all flag.
All right, tell me that there isn't always something every day to be thankful for. I'm going to tell you what mine is today. I just discovered that something that could definitely bring me joy, calm me down from a bad day, is watching people burn Nazi flags. That brings me a joy I never knew that I could have.
It's like so satisfying. Yes, it is.
Oh, I love it. Anyway,
that we live in, man. But I live in a small town in Pennsylvania, and it's a lot.
Yeah, you're not too far from me.
Supporters, yeah. So it's kind of this is the world we live in. But thanks to Trump and people like Elon Musk throwing out that salute, he's empowered these people, and they think they.
Well,
I just love how they go out there
Trump has
thinking,
destroyed America. He's
right.
close.
One, I love how they think they can go out there and nobody's going to react, and two, I love how they just scattered like little ants.
The
problem is it's just taking this long. It's taken this long for people to react, and that's why they feel so empowered.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I was gonna say that they're so used.
I can't be, I can't be everywhere, man. Like everybody, like other people need to do some shit. Like,
no. The problem is they are now going to be victim to their own propaganda. They think the left is weak. They think the left is afraid. They think the left isn't ready for a fight. And I don't necessarily just mean physical fight, but that's where their brains are. We're going to fight every battlefield that they give us. And they're not ready for that. They are going to find out. And we're not done. We're not going to let fascism just take over because we're like grumpy and miserable.
Yeah, when the dude with the Confederate, you seen the news thing, right? Did I ever show you guys? So like when I wore down the Confederate flags at this Trump stand, this guy put his hands on me and thought I was just gonna not do nothing.
Crumple like a leaf.
Yeah. So like in the report, it said that he wanted to teach me a lesson. He wanted to show me he meant business. And I was so
what does that even mean?
He's like, I thought he was Muslim. It's like dude, he committed a full-on hate crime and got no charges for it.
Well, yes, because he hated the right group.
No, because he thought I was a person of color.
Yep, of course.
Oh,
but because the card, everyone needs that card, right? Where's that distinction? Because they only think that they're afraid of a certain type of person, when in reality they're afraid of.
Well, now think of it. They're going after trans people. Like they're going after cis women that they may have masculine features.
Women are reporting that they are getting harassed because they don't look feminine enough for the other women in their.
So if you have even a darker complexion, You know what I mean? You,
hey, you Middle Eastern Jews that live in America, and half of my family comes from that bloodline. So I'm telling you right now, this isn't a racist thing. You Middle Eastern Jews that live in America, watch out, because you look darker than you think you do.
And I just want to point out, like, I hate showing stuff like this, like actual Nazis, but that's what we're dealing with in America right now. But I wanted to show you the pushback because I think it's important that you see that people are not going to take for this. I mean, MAGA thinks they have everything under control, but what they're really doing is they're uniting the other 70% of this country against them. So not only do they have no allies outside of America, they are a very small part of the population within America. So like all these neighbors that we had that voted for Trump, like if they ever come to us asking for help, I cannot wait to laugh in their faces.
No, I'll just give them a ridiculous fee to pay because that's the world they want to live in.
Honestly, from now on, when
it
people,
depends.
I'm gonna have to ask who you voted for. Like, I'm not gonna hang out.
It depends. Like, if people are willing to like take accountability for their actions, you would hope, you would hope to have them, come to the right side and figure out, hey, like, you need to fight against this too. Actually, you should be fighting twice as hard because you are the one who voted for this.
Well, like all the farmers now are finding out that their farms are about
to their base is shrinking. Their base is shrinking by the day.
You gotta think like, these people got car salesmen. It's like you're the parent telling them, hey, you shouldn't buy this car. That's a lemon. I've seen this before, and like they don't want, they're like a little kid not listening to you.
My kids are 20 and 22 now.
You know what I mean? So like, they're being sold something, and they don't realize what they're being sold. So like, I'm not saying to forgive them. I'm just saying don't forget, but also teach them the way.
I think there are people that voted for Trump that I always say, like, some people vote based off like the political highlight reel, like just the snippets that they see here and there on TV, the political ads, what they hear from their friends at work and all this stuff. And I think some people, maybe thought it was cool to vote for Trump or whatever the excuse was. And
you gotta look, you gotta look like this country built on racism. This
there's a
built on white supremacy. So people that don't understand what white supremacy is, they're gonna get sucked in the vacuum. They don't realize that they're racist. Some people, they just need to be taught to be not racist, and then they can learn to be anti-racist.
Well, we actually talked about we talked about this on a previous show where the right made a concerted effort to target young white men in America.
You need your little recruited fanatics.
Like,
Charlie
Kirk is a perfect example. He used to go from college to college targeting, recruiting for their cause or whatever the hell they're doing.
Yeah, well, that's what Nazi Germany did too.
Yep, exactly.
Hitler Youth.
It's a very, like I said, it's a vacuum. You get taught these things in school that Christopher Columbus was a good guy. And, Thanksgiving is a feast, to bring your family together.
Down together and exchanged recipes.
Like, meanwhile, you're celebrating genocide and people that just like destroyed, people and cultures and SA'd,
I will never
children
understand.
and like.
I just don't understand why the white culture in America is afraid of accepting that people in the past did something really shitty and accepting that doesn't mean we did it, but we should just accept that they did it. That's all anyone's asking. And I don't understand.
Okay, what is the word? Okay, what do you think conservative means?
Conservative? It depends on the context. That's
serving the white race.
Oh, conservative. You're right. Technically, that's what that means in the context of this country. Absolutely.
That's what conservative, like,
being
conservative is conserving the white supremacy tactics.
It always
of
does
America.
fall back to who benefits from it, and it's always white supremacy.
I'm gonna have to bring. We've played it a long time ago, but there's a speaker. His name's Tim Wise, anti-racist white guy, anti-racist activist. And he explains it perfectly. Like, racism in America was created so that the rich people can continue to be rich while they keep us dividing. And they made, even poor white people, for some reason, they convinced them. And think about propaganda back then. Now we have the internet, and like everybody's a lot smarter. Well, we used to think that people were a lot smarter than they used to be. But just imagine how ignorant people were back then, like hearing stuff from your neighbors and stuff like that. So,
well, we actually got white supremacy from the Spaniards. The Spaniards colonized countries, and they taught whiteness.
Holy shit!
So they also enslaved people too. So like, white supremacy has been around before. Our country was founded upon it.
It's been used as a tool.
We just took those white supremacy tactics from other countries and formed our racist power structure.
Yep. All right, so you know what? This is actually a good time to get, instead of doing, we'll talk about Paula White after this, but let's talk about eugenics for a minute. This is the perfect segue, because a lot of people, I don't think, they hear the word, but I don't think a lot of people, I think a lot of people don't understand what this is.
So maybe we listen to Trump first and let people realize what he's saying, and then I'll take us through the shit.
Donald Trump is explaining in the dumbest way possible eugenics, and he's out there just talking about it, and we called it out before the election.
We've been talking about this for over a year now.
Yes, we've been breaking this down forever now, but here's a video proof of Donald Trump explaining that he believes that, like the whole story about his uncle going to MIT or being a professor at MIT. So he's smart now because his uncle went, whatever. I'll let him explain it. It's even dumber than what I just said.
He was like a really brilliant guy. He was there for, I think, 41 years. He's the longest serving professor in the history of MIT.
Oh, wow.
So when I understand physics and when I understand things well, they say, how come there's good genetics? I'm a believer. Are you guys believers in that? Were your parents funny? Were they comedians?
Yeah, my mom's side was is Scottish. And,
fellow Scottish, yeah.
Oh.
Scottish women tend to be
my mom.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, but he's not funny.
I like tests. I've always liked tests. Tests are very interesting. And, I had an uncle. He's the longest serving professor, Dr. John Trump, in the history of MIT. Same genes. We have genes. We're smart people. We're smart people, We're like Mr. Lieutenant Governor, we're like racehorses, too. The fast ones produce the fast ones, and the slow ones doesn't work out so well.
Okay, again, in the most dumb way possible, Donald Trump just explained Hitler's idea of eugenics.
Okay.
So, Mike, please
go
over all the information you got for us.
Okay. Eugenics and its modern field of study were first formulated by Francis Galton in 1883, directly drawing on the recent work delineating natural selection by his half-cousin, this is interesting, Charles Darwin. Now, Charles Darwin is often and since this time used to basically promote the ideas of this type of mentality, and it's always misquoted and taken out of reality, but this guy published his observations and conclusions chiefly in his influential book, Inquiries into Human Faculty and Its Development. Galton himself defined it as the study of all agencies under human control, which can improve or impair the racial quality of future generations. The first to systematically apply Darwinism theory to human relations, Galton believed that various desirable human qualities were also hereditary ones, although Darwin strongly disagreed with this elaboration of his theory. Okay, so what does that mean? Eugenics, the actual definition of it, goes kind of like this. From the ancient Greek, this is where it's interesting, meaning good born or well born, is a set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of a human population. Historically, eugenicists have attempted to alter the frequency of various human phenotypes by inhibiting the fertility of people and groups they considered inferior or promoting that of those considered superior. It is known as the study of how to arrange reproduction within a human population to increase the occurrence of heritable characteristics regarded as desirable. Developed by Sir Francis Galton, as we said earlier, as a method of improving the human race, eugenics was increasingly discredited as unscientific and racially biased during the 20th century, especially after the adoption of its doctrines by the Nazis in order to justify their treatment of Jews, disabled people, and other minority groups, like trans and LGBTQ. Compulsory sterilization is a tool that was used in Nazi Germany. Also known as forced or coerced sterilization, refers to any government-mandated program to involuntarily sterilize a specific group of people. Sterilization removes a person's capacity to reproduce and is usually done by surgical or chemical means. Its purported justifications for compulsory sterilization have included population control, eugenics, limiting the spread of HIV, and ethnic genocide. Several countries have implemented sterilization programs in the early 20th century. Although such programs have been made illegal in much of the world, instances of forced and coerced sterilization still exist.
You know what?
Go ahead.
No, something came to my mind, and I wanted to get it out while I had it. You know how we took away Roe versus Wade, right?
Oh yeah.
So now, for us to make sure that women aren't getting pregnant, or men to accidentally get a woman pregnant, what are we doing to ourselves right now?
Nothing.
No, we're getting hysterectomies.
Oh,
and we're getting we're getting snipped because we don't want to.
You're right. It's almost forced self-eugenics.
No, but what I'm saying is, what if they're
oh yeah.
What if they're doing reverse psychology on us?
Oh no, it's definitely a tactic, because the only people that this affects are a certain, quote, class of people. And when your poor and middle classes become indistinguishable, you have rich and poor, and the poor can't breed when they want to, and the rich can breed whenever they want to.
Yep. And I just like to point out, like, in case anybody thinks it's extreme, I just literally told you a story about my mom's mom, my grandmother.
Yeah, being sterilized.
Being involuntarily sterilized so she cannot reproduce. Okay.
Yeah, well, they did that to black people here too.
Yep, yeah, absolutely they did. Well, when the white people weren't making sure more little kind of white babies were running around.
Yeah. So this is happening.
Also, if you look at like sports, they do all that stuff. They put people on these monitors, and if you don't think this is part of that system, you're fooling yourself.
And that's why the last bit of it is where it really gets freaking gross. The scientific reputation of eugenics started to decline in the 30s, a time when whoever that is used eugenics as justification for racial policies in Nazi Germany. Hitler had praised and incorporated eugenic ideas in Mein Kampf, his bookie book, and emulated isn't that on Donald Trump's night table? Eugenic legislation for the sterilization of, quote, defectives that had been pioneered where? In the United States, once it took power. Yes, early 20th century America was very much about eugenics. Yeah. Some common early 20th century eugenics methods involved identifying and classifying individuals and their families, including the poor, mentally ill, blind, deaf, developmentally disabled, promiscuous, homosexuals, and racial groups such as the Roma and Jews as degenerate or unfit, and therefore led to segregation, institutionalization, sterilization, and genocide.
So my daughter's deaf. Like, tell me this is why I talk about this stuff so often bring it up.
This is why they got the census, like that thing where like this stuff is all by design.
So that the government knows how many. I mean, if it was used the way it was meant for, and the people were governing themselves like that, you could use it for public health information, educational data. But no, it's often used to target these groups, and that's what we're seeing now.
All right. So we got to move on to the next topic.
All right.
But just keep in mind that this is what we are dealing with. Okay, we have to stop sugarcoating it and dancing around it. Okay, this is exactly what we're dealing with. They just rehired the guy, apparently. You know what I mean? They want to rehire the guy that was promoting eugenics online. If that's not horrifying enough to tell you what kind of people we're dealing with, then I don't really know what is. That should be an immediate disqualifier. That statement, those statements that you made alone would normally disqualify that kid from getting a security clearance in the real world.
Elon still doesn't have security clearance, by the way.
Right.
Elon still doesn't have security clearance.
I just heard that Donald Trump revoked Biden's security clearance.
Sure.
Or whatever.
You know what's really funny, though? Like, Elon Musk also today was asked about security clearances and different things. And he was asked specifically about a conflict of interest of him investigating all the contracts to his company. And do you know what Elon Musk, the great thinker and businessman, said? I didn't make those contracts. The people that worked for me made those contracts.
While he had his little human shield on top of his head. Like, why would you do a press? You look like such an idiot with your kid at the president's office, and you have
I think I have a picture of that. Yeah. Somewhere.
This was the dumbest thing I've ever. I have to watch the whole thing to get man. But yeah, go ahead. You have it pulled.
I thought I did. I don't know. Is this it?
You did.
No.
Now, which one is it?
I might have deleted it by accident. Like
that's
an idiot.
Okay. Well, that's all right. We'll
move on.
All right. So let's talk about Paula White. Who is Paula White? She is Donald Trump's new Christian advisor, and
the head of the faith office of the U.S., which is exceptionally anti-constitutional, and I am sure is only based on the improvement in health of one religion.
Yeah, and apparently there's a anti-Christian task force to go after people that are biased against Christians,
which.
That's a thing. I don't like you because you keep talking about your religion in front of us. That's why we don't like you.
1930s. I mean,
right? Oh my God! So, all right. Well, here's a video just so you know who Paula White is, and Mike.
We're sorry about this. It's worse and longer than it should be, but you need to know who's in charge of what's going to be our state religion soon.
Right, and she has a direct line to God. What is going on in this planet?
For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. For I hear victory, 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 victory in the corridors of heaven. In the corridors of heaven, victory, 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 victory. For angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. Hamanda ata ata rata tega bata santa ata ambo osa kata rite.
Oh shit! Wow!
I think I found. I found the pearly gates.
Yeah,
send
me. Oh my God! But that's who is
what?
That is who. They're trying to do the whole Christian. I mean, actually, what state was it? Was it North Dakota? One of the states already jumping on the whole. We're making, or they want to name whatever state it is. I'll have to look it up. Probably Oklahoma or North Dakota. They want to actually make themselves officially a Christian nationalist state. Think about that. That's crazy.
No.
That's crazy.
No. I can't hear you.
I can't hear you, Mike. I don't know what happened to your sound.
Mike, fix your mic.
Yeah. I thought he was joking with us, but no, that's... Uh-oh.
Hello?
Right. There you go.
Hey.
You go. Now we're on.
I have a mute button on my microphone, just letting everyone know.
Found it.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, you want me to go who this lunatic is?
Yes, please. Talk about her for a minute.
Okay. Paula White is a proponent of prosperity theology, which is, let me explain something real quick, capitalism and Jesus. There you go. White has been criticized for her religious beliefs by theologians and other conservative evangelists, whatever. White has been criticized for claiming to have a doctoral degree when she has no college or seminary degree. But by the way, let's get back to the fun. Prosperity theology, sometimes referred to as the prosperity gospel, the health and wealth gospel, the gospel of success. See a theme here. Seed faith gospel, faith movement, or word faith. There's a lot of movements here. Is a religious belief among some charismatic Christians that financial blessings and physical well-being are always the will of God for them, and that faith, positive scripture confession, and giving to charitable and religious causes will increase one's material wealth, which is one of the teachings that I was told Jesus was against. But anyway, material and especially financial success is seen as an evidence of divine grace, of favor, of blessings. Oh, good. The melding of White's public and private jobs is nearly seamless, as she invokes her relationship with Trump in her sermons and fundraising speech pitches, even as she wields her spiritual authority to defend the president. But experts say the arrangement raises significant conflicts of interest. Questions, concerns about her compliance with tax laws, banning nonprofit churches from endorsing candidates. And there's the more fundamental question as to whether by installing her in a White House job, Trump has put the government's stamp of approval on a religious ministry that includes faith healing and preying on vulnerable people for money.
Sound familiar?
At the spiritual ministry school, White definitely offered the audience that she was talking with the secret of her success. How did I get to the White House from the trailer, she asked. The answer, of course, was by giving money to God by way of the church. And she's not talking about tossing this weekly pin money in the offering plate.
Hold on, did she really say that?
Oh, yeah. Paula White, White House caliber blessings would require students of the supernatural to give a first fruits offering, which is a legitimate phrase. One that is significant, the first week's pay, say, or even the first month's pay, to signify putting God first in everything. White claimed during the sermon that God once told her in 2009, a particularly bad year, she needed to give her entire annual salary to God, probably to her own corporation in tax relief. How do you get from the trailer park to White House job? Give money to Trump's spiritual advisor. Quote, the first fruits set the pattern and establishes the destiny for what is left. Many of you need to bring the first fruit offering right now. Gimme, mint, gimme, money, money, money. I'll get you the prayers from the God guy.
She's the religious grifter.
All grifters seek out grifters. Hail Satan.
God.
All hail the algorithm.
Yeah, so much for the separation of church and state, right? That's exactly what we need, is a Christian advisor. Well, he's just creating.
Well, wait a minute. What I want to know is no. Let's play this through. Let's do this. And I have a feeling Tom's going to have a good answer for this. If in this position she has, let's say whatever authority she's given, she's going to go look out for what she thinks is anti-Christian bias. And of course, in her little underdeveloped brain, that's going to be anything that doesn't let shitty Christians be shitty Christians. So that would be, oh, we can't tell you, we can't serve you. Get out of my business. I want to hang you in public. I don't like gay people. I don't have to serve. Do you see where this is headed? Because that's the plan. Sure. So, Tom, am I wrong? Is this not part of what you've been saying? It's almost part of this system that's now getting bigger and more endorsed to control us to benefit whom?
Well, yeah. I mean, the Bible, the Christian Bible of America was built to keep slaves in check. So, I mean,
absolutely. It's the only thing they were allowed to read.
Yeah. So
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of Donald Trump just creating fake positions too. It's getting annoying because
he only knows one position. Oh wait, no.
Because Doge isn't a real.
FYI, that was a dig on Trump due to his tiny penis.
Yeah, because Doge is not a real government department. It doesn't exist.
The media has got to stop referring to the people that, quote, work for Elon Musk as employees, because Elon Musk is not an employee. Dodge is not an actual department. So he just has a team of randomly selected teenage hackers digging into everything.
Listen, the Democratic Party needs to grab whatever is between, whatever you got, with, grab it.
I know,
yes, that's a great shirt. Dude.
I don't understand. Listen, Elon Musk is walking in with these teenagers, these prepubescent assholes, just walking into these secure facilities, and Democrats are knocking on the door. Oh, well, damn it!
Excuse me, can I come in? I know. No, get the fuck out of my way.
May I please come in? Is it okay
respectfully
if I? Right, exactly. And to me, they have more authority to be there than these kids. I would think. I mean, they are at least elected officials. But I can't wait to see this all crash down because people are seeing it, man. This is the year the billionaires get exposed.
You know what the problem is? They couldn't hold. Oh, man, I'm going to be good because I know certain age groups are watching. He couldn't hold it in. He couldn't wait to hand over power because Trump is inherently the laziest fat slob you've ever seen do anything. And if you've noticed, he's done nothing since being president except golf, go to the Super Bowl for a total around $20 million of taxpayer money, and hand off any, quote, a semblance of governance to Elon Trump. Holy crap. Elon Musk. So Donald Trump's main plan was to get elected, rake in the cash through the giant grift, and let everyone else destroy the country and do whatever they want.
That's what it is. And they've perfected it, man, trying to keep the country separate. Kendrick Lamar, I think, oh my God. We're going to talk about that in a minute, the Super Bowl thing. But I think Kendrick Lamar displayed it perfectly, how divided they are. They're just trying to keep us apart. They're trying, but people are starting to see through the bullshit. We've seen a lot of videos online of Trump supporters being, they're like taking their hats off and throwing them away. Like, we can't take this anymore.
On YouTube right after our show.
There's
just
a mass
type in
migration away
MAGA
from
farmers regret.
Yeah,
MAGA farmers regret.
But we also need to hold the Democrats accountable too, because they put Kamala Harris in a position to where they set her up for failure 100%.
It sucks because I think she was a great candidate.
She ran
considering was she the best candidate there could have been? Absolutely not. But if that's the candidate they're going to go with, but she did what she did in the short amount of time with no effort and help from the Democrats.
And the fact that Donald Trump was even an electable person for candidate is crazy. Like, listen, if the Democratic Party really wanted to take the oath to the Constitution seriously, they would have took him off the ballot.
Of course.
It's just that they don't want to, they didn't want the threats in their emails or people coming to their house.
They would
rather sacrifice our Constitution and our democracy than to be uncomfortable and make sure
their kids
they did the right thing.
Their families will be fine. All of ours will suffer.
Yeah, I'm going to reply to that comment about Canada was going to be a 51st state. No, America is going to be annihilated.
Yeah.
If this happens. Dude, we have no allies, okay? Donald Trump in 3 weeks has literally pissed off everybody. All the dictators he thought he was buddies with are laughing at him. Like, you're on your own, dude.
Well, they're also immediately saying things against him. That's the best part. They're like, no, he's nuts.
We're going to talk about, we may as well go on to the next topic, because Canada is preparing for actual war with the United States after Donald Trump's recent comments.
War, you say?
Justin Trudeau, let me play this video real quick.
And all you armchair patriots will cry to your moms.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they respect them, maybe their moms will be hauled away for breeding. I don't know.
If United States sets boots on Canada, NATO will come to Canada's aid, and nobody will come to our aid. Okay, so don't get so excited about Canada being the 51st state.
Yeah,
if anything,
that's all right.
Because we're going to have no resources. We're going to run all the oil, all this money. We're going to spend trillions of dollars on what? Taking over Canada? It's just stupid. It's idiotic.
Also, no.
Yeah, no, it's dumb. Let me play this clip real quick. Justin Trudeau's recent comments that have sparked, caught the world on fire.
We want to now talk about a blunt warning from the Prime Minister that he made, captured on audio. At the summit today in Toronto, politicians, business leaders again gathered, and they're trying to strategize over the looming threats of tariffs coming from the Trump administration.
Mr. Trump has it in mind that one of the easiest ways of doing that is absorbing our country. And it is a real thing. In my conversation with him,
And then it cuts out. If you were watching earlier this morning, we took the part that the media cameras were allowed to record, and you heard Justin Trudeau said we're now going to have our friends from the media leave, and we're going to continue our conversation. But caught on tape and also heard by some print journalists as well, some of them hearing a little bit more than what our actual recording caught. But what I can tell you is that it had to do with what was originally portrayed as a bit of a joke on Donald Trump's part, this 51st state stuff that he kept leaning into and talking about. But it suggested that actually this is serious now, that in the minds of Justin Trudeau and his cabinet and key decision makers, they no longer believe that this annexation stuff is a joke.
No, they're taking it very serious. And the people of Canada are preparing too. They're also boycotting the living shit out of all American products. So American companies will suffer as a result of this. And Donald Trump just put a, 25% tariff on steel?
Well, all right, let's go over that because, and this is why you got to follow the money. And in reality, money follows natural resources.
I'm going to hit the latrine real fast.
All right.
Go for
it. Money is all about the natural resources. So if we suddenly have tariffs against China and China is suddenly putting tariffs back on us, and now we're not getting steel from this place and we're not getting resources from that place, suddenly you can't make anything because you can't buy anything because you've alienated every trading partner.
Yeah.
Okay. And you think I'm kidding. All right. America's import reliance of critical minerals. Now, you don't need to know what everadium is or whatever metaltism is. It doesn't matter. These are all used in the manufacture mostly of electronics and other chemicals. Okay, things that make our life run, plastic, everything. China, all of these, 11 of them. Canada is the next most with 5.
Right.
Okay, all right, that's not it.
No.
Critical minerals, the U.S. needs China for, because this is something they don't tell you ever. Some things are so rare, they only come from like one place on the entire planet. Okay, that's why wars are fought. Critical minerals the U.S. needs for China. Whatever those are, actually bismuth, I know, I use it in some of the materials I work with. But the point is, that's quite a lot of materials that we need the shit out of China for. Top countries by natural resource value. Russia. Well, okay. The U.S., yay, that's us. Where's Canada? Canada's not far down the list. Okay. Well, let's see what our options are. Because this is where all the minerals and natural resources are that we know of on our planet, except the Congo, because they're destroying the crap out of Africa and all the countries for their resources. But what do we see here? Well, we're not trading with Russia. We can't trade with China anymore. Australia is just not an option. We're not going to do that yet. But the Middle East, well, we always have a presence in the Middle East for oil and other minerals. Now we're basically helping Israel expand imperialism style to take over wars with the other Middle East for their resources. South America, do you really think it's about how much it is to use the Panama Canal, or is it more about the access to all those minerals that they send and do business with Russia? Now we have Canada right above us, and if we own that, well, then we're good. We don't need anyone else. Like, is Donald Trump going to resource himself into a war that he can't win?
Right.
He's dumb enough, and Hegseth will do it.
China has banned all export of rare earth metals to the United States, which are used in all electronics, in car manufacturing, literally everything that we use these days. So we are in a position now where we're screwed. And all right, so not only Canada, but let's talk about Greenland for one second, because
I just wanted to say,
oh yeah, Tom, you wanted to say,
is this where the part where everybody learns that we're not the richest country in the world?
Oh, but we're the best. If we're the best, we're the richest. We have everything. Yeah.
I just hope everybody read, you know
what? That goes to what we've been saying this whole show, and I think maybe you started this. People are going to start seeing a larger awakening from our culture of how insulated we've been, how lied to we've been, how interconnected we are with the planet, and how the rest of the world used to see us as something, despite our faults, to look up to, and now we're a dangerous joke.
And then, but yeah, the whole thing about Greenland too is about the resources, because
wait a minute. Can I?
Please go ahead, because this is the dumbest. Like,
hey, remember the egg prices that were going to go down? Well, a congressman whose name is Buddy, we'll call him, introduced a actual bill. Actual bill. They are now using resources from the United States government, tax dollars, to enter a bill into Congress that Congress will vote on that gives Donald Trump the ability to buy Greenland, and they want to call it, and they want to rename Greenland Red, White, and Blue Land. If they had any sense of humor, it would be the best troll job, because left media and progressive media could not pass this up. So I'm going to tell you right now, if this is a troll job, I will literally eat something that a human should not eat. It's named later, so I don't die.
Red, White, and
Blue Land. You're out of your damn minds, because instead of eggs, we're going to get Greenland.
Yeah,
I just don't understand what the hell this guy is thinking anymore. Not that he's thinking. I don't know who's in charge, what's happening.
It's those straws, man.
We're talking about wasteful government spending, and you got Elon Musk going through $1 million a day, and his Department of Government Efficiency should definitely
wait
be
a minute.
Quotes.
Tom, you said you know why Trump wants to keep the plastic straws. You have a theory. What is that theory? Snort skis.
Oh man, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. He's doing a little bit of the, and he doesn't
allegedly.
Yeah, you know, he's
the paper ones get
the paper ones don't do justice, you know. It's tired of using pens.
Someone on Instagram literally just said exactly that. Cocaine.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tired of popping the caps off the pens, you know. Don't ask me how I know this.
Right.
A lot of TLs, a lot of documentaries on A&E.
Yeah,
right,
you know,
let me,
we don't need pennies no more, so we use the dollar bills, you know, like.
So Donald Trump spent. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, so Donald Trump then spent $20 million on going to the Super Bowl, which I do not understand how it's that much to go to the Super Bowl.
Get booed.
He left halfway early. But I actually have the video of Donald Trump trying to explain. I don't know what he's trying to explain, but this is his whole. He's starting to try and warm everybody up to the idea that we're going to invade Canada. I think is what he's trying to do.
We're making our country larger. We're making our country stronger. And in the case of Canada, if this should happen, I don't know how they can do it without us, because without the U.S., Canada really doesn't have a country. They do almost all of their business with us. And if we say we want our cars to be made in Detroit, with a stroke of a pen, I can do that. And other things in addition to that would not allow Canada to be a viable country.
Okay, so we got Gulf of America. Plastic straws were saved. That hallelujah. Pennies are no longer going to be a thing. We're good.
But
and
if you want to make sure, look,
Greenland, red, white, and blue land. Come on, man.
We are very harsh.
We're the dumbest fucking timeline in human history.
We are very harsh on Donald Trump, and I get it. We aren't giving Elon Musk time to really develop the Department of Government Efficiency. So let's see what they've been doing. Because Trump flew a bunch of GOP members of Congress to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Secret Service for that detail is about $7 million to $10 million. Air travel and motorcade about $4 to $5 million. The stadium security upgrades, obviously, additional metal detectors, bomb sweep, security checkpoints, about $2 million. Local law enforcement, because you got to throw them a bone. Overtime, naturally, and personnel, $1 million. Trump's Super Bowl attendance was about 15 to 20 million. A trip on Air Force One cost the U.S. taxpayers $177,843 per hour. The average cost of a 2025 Super Bowl ticket is $6,739. But luckily, on Long Island, I saw cage-free eggs, which I prefer, for $11.99.
Great, man. We're saved, though. You know, like I'm sure that I'm sure this whole straw and penny thing will just. He's like, we're gonna save money 1 penny at a time. Like, just stop, dude. Just stop.
Just use a freaking credit card. It's so much easier.
Yeah, just it's fine.
I know, right? All right, so let me show you because I want to talk about the Super Bowl real quick, and then we'll let Tom get out of here because I forgot to tell him how long we usually go.
Oh yeah, it's also
hour. We're already an hour in. Jesus.
Yeah, we got to kill it.
All right, let me go ahead and play. This is the Super Bowl ad.
No.
Ontario, Canada. Canada bought Super Bowl ads.
to troll
to remind the American people how much of a relationship that we have and how much we actually rely on them. So I thought that was a good time to show it to all of you in case you missed it. So here's that.
For generations, this ally to the north has been by your side. Ontario, Canada. A partner connected by shared history, shared values, and a shared vision for what we can achieve together. Stable and secure when the world around us isn't. You can rely on Ontario for energy to power your growing economy and for the critical minerals crucial to new technologies. Ontario is your third largest trading partner and the #1 export destination for 17 states. Our long-standing economic partnership keeps millions of Americans working. In a changing world, it's time to bring jobs back home and build together. More workers, more trade, more prosperity, more security. For generations, this ally to the north has been here. And for generations more, we'll still be here, right by your side.
Well, you're here, file for asylum.
I'm liking Canada more and more, man. They're like the one country that never causes any problems, never starts shit with anybody. You know what I mean? And then
all the good reality shows, like the home reality shows, are filmed in Canada.
It's so
wild,
man. Yeah, in case, because since we're going over a little bit, I'll cut it a little bit short and I won't show. But Donald Trump's already talking about running for a third term. Yeah,
we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna do a show with that when we go over when a president had 4 terms and that president deserved all of them, and why Donald Trump didn't deserve any of the ones he's ever gotten.
I mean, look, we could do a part 2 too. You know, it's not like
Oh no, absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely,
we're definitely gonna have you back on. That's for sure. I'm actually looking forward to. Yeah, doing more content with you. But yeah, so Donald Trump's talking about running for a third term, and his justification is that he hasn't run 2 consecutive terms. That's literally their justification for it. It's like, dude, it's just, can we just?
So they want to change the Constitution to pretend there's a loophole when the thing tells you what the answer is, and they just want to pretend.
They're already talking about taking women's right away to vote.
They are.
So
that's
the
thing.
I think this is what we were trying to talk about before. The Constitution was built for the white man, and we amended the Constitution for it to fit all people.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then we put a black man in there, and they were like, "Yo, you're the outside help. You were not supposed to step inside."
And that's what Kendrick Lamar's whole performance was about. You know.
Yeah.
Before we recorded tonight, both Tom was telling me things that were blowing my mind about that performance, and Jeremy showed me a video that, to be fair, I think you should play it because it's worth it, and then we end on that.
Yeah, all right, I'll just play, like, if you want to see a good breakdown, because Kendrick, I think, is the king of messaging without even saying anything, not just the lyrics.
It's metaphor.
Yeah, all that, just, oh my God, just go on TikTok and watch. There's so many different breakdowns of the whole thing, and it's so elaborate. But here's a quick breakdown, because a lot of it had to do with inequality in America and how we're being divided.
That doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. I was told that doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's even a picture. Some of the people are laying on the ground. I don't know if it just happened to be that way, but they're actually laying on the ground in like a shape of a swastika when they were.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was not accidental.
Yeah. So, all right, let me just play this video real quick, and then we'll get out of here.
The halftime show wasn't supposed to be entertainment. It was a message laced with symbolism about our government and control. In the lyrics, the revolution about to be televised. Right time for the wrong guy. Kendrick warned the audience to pay close attention. Samuel L. Jackson dressed as Uncle Sam, a national personification of the United States, symbolizing our government and our military. Uncle Sam represents patriotism and national identity. But with Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam, Kendrick was making a statement. He was telling his people to get ready. The division of the American flag highlighted the division in America. The Crips dressed in blue, the Bloods dressed in red. Together, they symbolize our country coming together in unity. The stars and the stripes were divided, illuminating the division in America. Serena Williams' hands shone, lifting the people up. This was more than just a halftime show.
There's also a moment, and I swear this is what it means. It has to be what it means, where the Kendrick's in the middle, like he did, like they show with the American flag, but it was red and blue on both sides, and then white, everybody that was wearing white in the middle. And I took it as like all these rich white people are trying to keep us both sides divided.
I think we're supposed to interpret it in many ways on our own also. So if we take
it's the marginalized it's marginalized communities coming together as you know, different colors of people, and then you have the white people centering themselves in their own nonsense because they feel like they're the ones being attacked when they're not.
Victim mentality. One thing I loved, if anyone's seen that famous photo of Nazi Germany where there's a crowd of people saluting him, and there's one guy that's just like, it's a very famous picture, and I swear the way Kendrick Lamar ended that show, where he was the only one standing like this amongst everyone else leaning over, bowing to fascism, that's my interpretation of it. But I think that's the beauty of that performance. I'm going to be learning stuff about that for years that I just culturally could never understand. And I look forward to learning about that. That's what this is all about. Right. Learn something you don't understand.
He's right, though. Like, this revolution will be televised, because the famous quote is, the revolution will not be televised.
It will not be televised, yep.
This one will be. And he's right. Like, we have to have a revolution. There's a George Orwell quote, and I'm not talking violence, okay? Don't get me wrong. Every time you guys, like, people freak out, I'm not talking that kind of revolution. But there's a famous George Orwell quote that I used to use. And it's in the age of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. And that, I think, applies extremely well to the circumstances that, because they're trying to suppress the truth and create their own version, their own reality.
Well, yeah, when you hear 100 lies to one truth, they try to make that the truth.
Right.
This is a good pickup right here by Pendragon. Good pickup.
Well, yeah, no, that's right. No, that's right. That's right.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, because I remember Kendrick's pop-up concert where he brought all these different gangs together for, just...
Why are we fighting ourselves when we should be fighting them?
I mean, Tom, I want your opinion on this, because I think this is very important, and I think this is how we win this fight, is we have to communicate with the people that didn't vote on what's coming and why things that are happening.
Yeah, we got to communicate with everybody.
No, they're listening.
We cannot make them feel bad, though, for not voting. We just have to, move past, because that time is over. We can't be like, this is your fault because you didn't vote. We can blame MAGA for that. We can blame them for voting for Trump. It's their fault. But we have to bring people in that are not political. Like my buddy Barry never hates politics, hates when I talk about politics. He went to the freaking protest with me because he saw the whole Elon, throwing his heart out to the crowd thing. And he was
look,
thank you, Catch My Whip. Thank you so much.
The Biden and Trump during that election, I didn't vote. This election, I voted. Yeah. I voted Kamala Harris. I voted blue down the ballot, and I did it early. So like, listen, everybody's gonna have their own opinions on how things are to be done. Mm-hmm. The only thing you could do is work on yourself and be the best version of being anti-fascist. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what you can to better, move us forward as a country. Whether it's going out there with a flag, whether it's doing your podcast, whether it's educating people, whether it's, just as long as you're doing something, that's all that really matters. Everybody has a place in the revolution.
Yeah.
Everybody has just like in the military. Everybody has a place in the military. So.
That's a brilliant point. And I think we've had guests that have kind of hinted at that concept where the idea that you can't fight back is something you believe because we don't always know what options are out there. There are so many ways to fight. There are so many options. And the more you talk to people and the more you keep spreading messages of what we can do to fight back, you'll find other options and other avenues.
Yeah, helping people, crowdsource, spreading posters, helping people get to the voting booth, helping people get a license. If there's
standing up for people who are getting shit on in the public.
Yeah, anything like
people.
Like for instance, right? That memorandum about the death penalty.
Oh, how he wants to expand it to several things. Yeah.
Okay, so.
Oh yeah.
I had that translated into Spanish, and I printed it out and I started giving it out to people.
I love that.
Good idea.
That's the type of shit. That's what we got.
Little things, giving this stuff to business owners so they can spread the word to their customers. Like small things,
Make politics be part of our life because politics is currently destroying our life. So, like you said, go to business owners and say, "Hey, let customers have a chance to pick up this flyer."
Bro, it's every day, bro.
Yeah, it's not. See, that's the thing. We have to take a stand as a community, as a country. We don't want a country filled with hate.
As a community of democracy-loving patriots, we have to fight back.
Right. And it's going to be a long fight. It's not going to be easy. Right now, we still have options, though. I think a lot of people, because I think that's the point, though. Fear is their only tactic. Fear is their only tool. And once they realize that we're not afraid, right, find the teachable moments. Exactly. Once they realize we're not afraid, like the perfect example is what happened in Cincinnati. Armed Nazis tried to take over a community and show how tough they were and ran. When unarmed black people started approaching them that weren't happy with their Nazi flags. You know what I mean? A lot of these people talk a lot of shit. They think they can look tough. They put on their brand new tactical gear, you know what I mean, and that they bought online and all that shit. That they've never seen battle. They've never even been in a situation where there's gunfire. You know what I mean? Just give me a break.
Oh,
you've actually been in combat. Tom's actually been in combat, so
drive, purpose, and motivation is all we need.
Yep.
Put that
and education.
Yeah.
Put that foot forward. So all you got to do is put the foot forward.
Yep.
And sometimes ass.
Sometimes and you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish.
That's true.
It's just like, it's like going to the gym. Like, I didn't just start out benching 500 pounds. I had to work to that point. I had to be committed to what I was doing.
This is huge. This where the money is.
Yeah.
For the past 2 months, I've been very diligent about researching the political situation for every company I'm looking to patronize. I'm done supporting these Republican fools.
Will be talking. Actually, I just thought of that. We're going to talk about that on a future episode, the power of boycotts, because Canada is showing, and a boycott is not something like one person individually starts. It's just something collectively that we just do, and it might.
You want to talk about boycott? Look at the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre.
Oh yeah,
they had their own economy, man. And
oh, that's right.
They wiped out a rising black community that was starting to rival the wealth of the East Coast, and they were like, nope.
Yeah.
So you think about that, like, if we created our own, economic structure, where we work together as a collective, as leftists, a leftist community. Wipe out their money source.
Agreed.
Create small businesses. Teach people how to create small businesses. Fund people to be able to go to school so they can get their small businesses. So people become business owners. People from marginalized communities become business owners.
Build generational wealth.
And we could create that wealth within each other, so we don't. So we can
push them out of the economy.
Decentralize their fascist. Their fascist agenda.
Yeah.
Because right now they hold the wealth.
That's exactly what it is.
Look at all these organizations like the Proud Boys. They have wealth. They have structure. They have their own media.
Yep.
We have to now take this with a grain of salt. We have to give credit where credit's due, but we also have to learn from that, and we have to create the same thing. So if they can do it, we can do it.
Yep.
We have
just
to
haven't because we've been lazy.
Yeah.
Or ill-informed, or all these other things that have led us to where we are.
Put one foot in front of the other. Listen, I know it sounds crazy, but it's simple.
No, you're right.
It's just that. See what makes sense scares people.
It's true.
You gotta understand. I got the utmost hate and the utmost like, oh, who do you think you are? You think you're gonna do this? You think you're gonna do that? That started in my community.
Right.
They're attacking communities now. That's what's happening.
Well, no, what I'm saying is doing the things that I did took me getting out there and being uncomfortable.
That's true.
It took me being out there by myself. It took me to be willing to push back against a community. It's like 10 to 1,000 people.
Yep.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like I was surrounded. I was the odd man out, and I still did it.
Well, that's why they say democracy is not a spectator sport.
Right. I've actually been in touch with my local mayor trying to figure out what I could do locally too, because I want to get more involved with local stuff too.
Yep.
And it's not to boast myself. It's to give that the words of encouragement of you can do it. It's just that what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to put on the line to make sure that other people have something? You might suffer a little bit, okay, but what is the end result and what's the end goal?
I guess right now is we're gonna suffer regardless. Now, would you rather suffer fighting for something,
I
or would you
rather,
suffer
yeah.
while they're taking everything away from us? I would rather suffer and put everything on the line to fight for what.
And that, you know, that's what needs to happen. We need to wait. Yeah, we're gonna have battle scars, but battle scars heal.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know,
all right.
But
we gotta get out of here, Mike.
Yeah, no, I think we should probably call it a night. I don't know what else.
No, we're good.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
right.
Listen.
We'll
have to do this a part 2.
We'll pick this up. We could
have you on again. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Tom. Really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, we'll keep you posted as to all our plans coming in leading up to the 23rd for the protest in New York, which again we will be live streaming. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. If you would like to donate, or there's other ways you can support us as well. We do have merch coming, I promise. I'm talking with our merch person right now about getting that set up, which actually we'll be wearing. I have one of the shirts on right now. Is our AWA Activism with Attitude. That's one of our shirts. We have some shirts. There's sweatshirts coming for.
There might be one about sarcasm and rage. I'm not sure.
Yeah, one says warning responds to ignorance with sarcasm. So all right, everybody, have a good night. Tom, thanks for coming on.
Anytime, man. Let's do this again.
Always, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.